The Super Eagles of Nigeria continue to soar higher in the ongoing African Cup of Nations in Morocco 2025 as the final match in the group stage of the ongoing competition in Group C saw the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Uganda by 3-1. Goals from Paul Onuachi assisted by Fisayo Dele Bashiru and a brace from Frank Onyedika with two beautiful assists from Samuel Chukwueze. I must say it was a flawless victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria dominated the Ugandan from start to finish. No much worry for the defense side of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as Calvin Bassey and Uche Ikpeazu of Uganda was a different match entirely in the first half of that particular encounter, and it was indeed lots of drama. But the Super Eagles of Nigeria triumphed over the Cream of Uganda by 3-1. Something interests me about this game. For a long time, I've not actually seen the Super Eagles of Nigeria in this manner. The mentality I saw in the team, wow, it was quite amazing. It was really, really amazing. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have actually made us proud. As expected from lots of fans, including me, because coming into this competition, the hope, the expectation was quite high. And after the first game against Tanzania with that sluggish performance, though we still went on to defeat Tanzania by 2-1, the Super Eagles of Nigeria bounced back from their shell against the Cottage Eagles of Tunisia, defeating them by 3-2 with an emphatic display from start to finish. It was good to see, and the confidence in the team continued to grow game by game. And tonight, it was a different ball game entirely. The Super Eagles of Nigeria dominated the Crane of Uganda from start to finish, and the final score indeed actually reflects what we saw in that particular game. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, despite having progressed already to the round of 16, played the games as if played the game as though they were looking for a win to actually qualify for the next round of the competition. But that is just what we want to see. That is the mentality I personally actually wanted to see in the squad. There is no doubt going into this competition, the Super Eagles of Nigeria parade one of the best squad into this competition, and that is why after the first game, I felt disappointed. But progressively, as game continues against Tunisia, they show us that glimpse of what we actually expected going into the game. And tonight, against the Crane of Uganda, it was also indeed another super performance from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, take nothing away from the manager talking about Eric Schell. We just have to give credit to Eric Schell for what he has actually done so far. The way he actually set up the Super Eagles of Nigeria to play game. The attacking intent we now saw in the game of Super Eagles. It's quite amazing. Now, one interesting thing in tonight's game over the defeat of Uganda was the selection that Eric Schell actually put up. The Super Eagles of Nigerian head coach, talking about Eric Schell, set up the team in a 4-2-2 formation. In goal was Francis Uzoho, and the fullbacks were actually Bruno Yemachi and Ryan Lebiosu. And the centre-back pairing was Calvin Bassey and Igor Ogbu. The four midfielders, we have Samuel Chukwueze in the right wing, Moses Simon in the left wing, and the two midfielders were Raphael Onyedika and Fisayo Dele Bashiru. And up front, the two attackers up front was Victor Osimhen and Paul Onuachu. Victor Osimhen actually captained the team out of the dugout tonight, and it was indeed a leadership performance we saw in Victor Osimhen. The display of Victor Osimhen tonight was actually selfless. It actually showed that leadership in the field of play. Before the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually got the first goal, look at that selfless display from Victor Osimhen, and laid a beautiful pass to Paul Onuachi that was saved by the Ugandan goalkeeper, talking about Dennis Onyagu, that played majority of the first half of that game with an injury, and he managed to see the first half of the game off. Coming into the second half, the Ugandan actually came into the game with a positive intent to see if they can actually get a result that can still give them edge going into the round of 16. The Ugandan head coach, talking about Paul Put, made some couple of changes, bringing in more attacking players, but then their hope dashed when their goalkeeper, talking about Salim Jamal, Mangula actually saw a red card for a professional foul, denying Victor Osimhen what would have been a clear goal from a beautiful pass from Samuel Chukwueze. The Ugandan national team actually used 3 goalkeepers in this particular encounter. Dennis Onyagu that was actually got injured in his ankle in the first half, and Salim that actually saw red before Elionzi actually came on and actually ended the game. So it was a beautiful display from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and it goes to show the squad, the depth that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have going into this tournament. I mean, the way Ryan Alobiosu actually played from the right back, adding more attacking intent up front alongside with Samuel Chukwueze. It was amazing to see. Samuel Chukwueze tonight was brilliant. Class. I mean, he was an excellent player, putting up the man of the match performance in that particular encounter. The combination, the pairing, the midfield pairing of Raphael Onyedika and Fisayo Dele Bashiru, I mean, the understanding was just top notch. And that goes to show that the Super Eagles don't have much to worry when we talk of the depth going into this particular game. And it there goes to show that our first team regular in the midfield, talking about Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Ndidi, the team captain, who should actually be on top of their game, because whenever the slip off, these guys are available to actually take that take the opportunity and showcase what they've actually got. It was actually beautiful to see. The manager Eric Shell have actually done a great job. He tried to see how every player could actually get minutes in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. It was good to see Tochukwu Nnadi actually came up in the midfield again to actually add more depth to that game. And also a couple of changes. Onuachu was actually substituted out, and Akko Adams actually came in again to actually have a stretch of his muscles, preparing for the knockout phase. I mean, Moses Simon, the way he takes on the defenders of the way he takes on the Ugandan defenders, it was really, really amazing. Moses Simon and Samuel Chukwueze was actually a thorn on the flesh of the Ugandan defenders, mesmerizing the defense lines of the Uganda and actually make things happen for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It was quite beautiful to see. The performance the Super Eagles of Nigeria put up was amazing. The selection the manager actually put up to actually start the game, despite knowing well that we have qualified. I mean, it was really amazing. Good to see the quality the Super Eagles of Nigeria is parading in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. I mean, is actually sending a message to other teams that watch out, the Super Eagles of Nigerians, we are on this ground for one purpose. We are on this ground for a mission. And the mission is simple: to lift the trophy, the AFCON trophy in 2025. The Super Eagles of Nigeria currently is actually one team to beat in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. I just have to say this categorically. If you take a look at games that is currently ongoing, you actually said the Super Eagles of Nigeria is actually a team to watch out for. The only team so far that have actually played all 3 games in the group stage and won all 3, going on to clinch maximum points from the group stage, all 9 points, scoring 8 goals, conceding 4 in that particular encounter. It was actually good to see. I mean, the victory tonight against the Crane of Uganda was flawless, as the goalkeeper, talking about Francis Uzoho, have little or nothing to actually do. There was no single save in that particular game. The only time Francis Uzoho was called to action and the only shot on target the Crane of Uganda actually have in that particular game was just the goal they scored by Matu, and it was indeed an excellent goal. Beautiful pass from one of the midfielders from the Uganda and a beautiful finish from Matu. It was a beautiful goal. I mean, 10-man Uganda actually got a consolation goal from that particular encounter, and that was just the only shot on target they were able to get all through the 90 minutes of game. So tonight it was indeed a sweet victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as maximum 9 points from the group stage of the ongoing African Cup of Nations was actually clinched from Group C. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria top Group C with 9 points, scoring 8 goals and conceding 4, while the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia were held to a 1-1 draw by Tanzania, and that means they finished second behind the Super Eagles of Nigeria with 4 points. So tonight, who was your star performer in the game between Uganda versus the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Drop your thoughts down below. And how will you rate the chances of the Super Eagles of Nigeria to lift the AFCON trophy 2025? Drop your thoughts down below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in the next video. Bye.